Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So I'm going to do this brief little hangout while I'm on my lunch break. Yesterday, I saw this article in the Huffington Post. When I get a chance, I'll post the article in the description box so that you could check it out for yourself. But in this article, it talks about a statement that a local delegate made here in Maryland. And the delegate's name is Ann Lisanti. She's from Hartford here in Maryland. She's a Democrat. And this is what she said. What's up to Hollow Ninja 10? Thanks for tuning in. Unfortunately, I won't have much time to respond to your comments. But here's what this lady said. She was talking to a white colleague about a month ago in a bar in Annapolis. It's a cigar bar. And she was complaining about campaigning in Prince George's County on behalf of another candidate. And she basically said that it amounted to knocking on doors in a nigger district. This is what this lady said. For those of you who aren't familiar with Prince George's County, it is a predominantly African-American county here in Maryland. It's an affluent county. Many people are well educated in that county. It's, a prosperous area for the most part. So this woman basically said that campaigning in that district was like campaigning in a nigger district. That's how she described it. She literally used those words. Again, this district is predominantly black. It's like 65% African American. And I just want to take some time to talk about this. And now, after this came out that she made this statement, this woman all of a sudden issued some apology, talking about how she's sickened by the language that she chose to use. She talked about how the N-word is not in her vocabulary. She said that that does not represent her belief system. That's what this lady claims. But, my initial reaction is this, man. These apologies mean nothing. I mean, an apology is an important first step, but it's not sincere. You can't tell me that this is this woman's first time using the N-word. Obviously it's something that's a regular part of her conversation. And in fact, in this article, she admits that she's used the N-word before. But yet and still, she's trying to act like this is something that she doesn't use, a word that she doesn't regularly use. It's not a part of her vocabulary. She wants us to believe that this is not a part of her belief system, even though she said what she meant, and she meant what she said when she referred to Prince George's County as a nigger district. So she issues this little fake-ass apology, which I don't take it with as a grain of salt, man. It's not worth anything. It means nothing. It's just a situation where somebody got caught and they feel that they have to do something to control the damage that's going to be inflicted as a result of this stuff being exposed, so they have to issue some apology. So this apology is just a matter of political convenience. It's not a sincere apology, and it's worthless and meaningless as far as I'm concerned. So now this woman has, issued this apology. She has stepped down from her position as the chair of the Unemployment Insurance Subcommittee, in the House, Maryland State House or whatever. She issued an apology directly to the Black Caucus there and to the entire House Democratic caucus as well. So let me share some additional thoughts about this situation. Number one, it's a prime example of how these racist white people do not make distinctions among black people. Like, some black people think that, well, if I get education, if I live in a decent neighborhood, if I make a certain amount of money, if I have my pants pulled up and I'm not wearing Timberlands or acting like a thug, then society will respect me. Society will treat me as a fellow human being. They won't discriminate against me. But here we have this white woman who's campaigning in a affluent black neighborhood, one of the richest black neighborhoods in America, one of the most prosperous black communities in America, one of the most educated black communities in America, where you have wealthy home, large homes in this area and all that kind of stuff. But in this woman's mind, despite all of that, she sees those people in that community as nothing but niggers. And this should be a wake-up call to us so that we can understand that they don't care how you talk. They don't care that you can speak the queen's English or king's English. They don't care that you got some degrees or you got some letters behind your name or you have a certain job or you live in a certain neighborhood. In their mind, you're just another nigger. And we should have realized this when we saw how they treated the brother of Barack Obama. You know, somebody that went to the best law school in the country. Somebody who was the president of the Law Review. Somebody who was a U.S. senator and then went on to become president of the United States. Somebody that had an intact family life. You know, married to a woman and had kids and all that kind of stuff. Wasn't the quote-unquote stereotypical Negro. Somebody that spoke the, proper English, as they say. Somebody that was fully assimilated into this American white culture and all that kind of stuff. And they still regarded that brother as a nigger. They still depicted him and his family as chimpanzees, monkeys, and stuff like that. But still, some of us still have bought into this respectability politics nonsense, where we believe that all you got to do is behave properly and these people will treat you with respect. You know, another thing is this, man. You know, this makes it abundantly clear that the Republicans don't have a monopoly on racism. You know, even though in terms of their policies, they're more hostile to the interests of black people. But we have to be clear, man. Republicans don't have a monopoly on racism. You know, some of these Democrats, some of these quote-unquote liberals can be just as racist as a Republican. They just express their racism in other ways. But this example right here is just blatant racism. Here you had this Democrat, you know, using the N-word. Here you had this Democrat, this racist. So, you know, this should be an eye-opener as well, man. We just have to be on the alert, man. We cannot trust anybody and just assume that because somebody's a Democrat that they're not racist. And that's what a lot of our people do. You know, a lot of our people, unfortunately, just vote for somebody because they're a Democrat sometimes. They don't even look at their track record. They don't even look at their positions on the issues. All they need to see is a D in front of their campaign slogans or whatever, and they vote for that person. So this is a reminder that we got to be on point. We got to do our research on these people, know about their track record. That's what we have to do. And, you know, another thing is this, man. There have to be real consequences for this kind of racism, you know, this kind of bigotry. And, you know, we see other communities deal with this as well. Like when they face people that are hostile to their interests, they respond. We saw what happened to Kevin Hart because of some tweets that he put out years ago. The LGBT community united against him, and because of that, he didn't host the Oscars. Because of that, he faces some blowback. We see this with respect to the Jewish community. Somebody make a statement and they interpret it as anti-Semitic, and that person gets persecuted. We saw what happened with the Women's March and how because the sister Tamika Mallory took a picture with Farrakhan and made some statements about Farrakhan, all of a sudden they want to tar and feather that sister and label her as anti-Semitic. And then you had the Democratic Party pull out of that march because of that. You have people condemning her because of that. And then you look at other situations, man. There should be real consequences. And this particular candidate, you know, she stepped down from her positions on certain committees and stuff like that as a chair of that committee or whatever. But that's not enough, man. She needs to be voted out of office. And she comes from the city of Hartford here in Maryland. It's a predominantly white community. So that's one of the challenges. But still, anybody of goodwill, anybody that's is anti-racist, you know, anybody with any sense of compassion or any sense of humanity, they need to vote against this woman. They need to support her opponent. And even if we don't vote in that area, even though we're not in that particular city, we can still financially support anybody that's running against her. We can still volunteer for anybody that has a strong record when it comes to our issues, we can support them with our time and with our dollars to make sure that this woman is not elected again. Nobody that harbors these types of racist views towards black people should be making laws that affect black people. Somebody with, this is a position where you are literally making laws that impact people's lives. Nobody with these kind of racist views should be making those kind of laws, making any laws, period. Making laws that affect our lives. Somebody that views black people as niggas, they don't deserve to have the privilege of writing any laws or proposing any laws. So yeah, we need to support her opponent when her primary comes up. And I'll continue to follow this particular situation, monitor it. But it's just a shame, man. Like here in this area, man, you already had the situation in Virginia where you got this governor that wore blackface in his yearbook, and you got people still supporting him. Man, the hell with that, man. There have to be consequences for this kind of racism. There have to be consequences for this type of hate speech. She probably felt comfortable. She was with her white colleagues. She probably was just being natural. She probably does this all the time. So this person needs to be removed from office, man. And it's up to us here in Maryland to do what we can to make that happen, man. We need to voice our opposition and also, in addition to that, support an opponent that supports our agenda. So with that, I'm going to say peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Hopefully, I'll be able to watch your comments on the playback. Right now, I just don't have enough time to respond to the people right now. But I want to thank you for supporting this channel, for watching this channel. Hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content. So with that, I'm going to say peace and blessings to each and every one of you.